Welcome to the Reality Revolution. I'm your host, Brian Scott. We have a delightful, amazing, transformational meditation today. We are going to coordinate the left and right brain hemispheres and activate both of your hemispheres and your entire brain and the whole mind field completely. There's an amazing exercise that I've done several times that is more powerful than awakening your third eye. Awakening both hemispheres and all the quadrants of your brain through these techniques is more transformational than you could ever imagine. In the amazing book, The Possible Human, Jean Houston begins her chapter on awakening the brain with an adaptation of an exercise created by her husband, Robert Masters. Houston says, of all the exercises we have developed of this type, it seems to have the most profound effect. Although we have called this exercise left brain, right brain, and work with the metaphor of right and left sides of the brain, we cannot claim that this exercise is the function of two distinctly separated hemispheres of the cerebral cortex. Instead, this exercise would seem to integrate many functions of the brain, bringing together words and images, senses and emotions, the abstractions of numerical symbols, and the unity of the mind field. This is going to be very different than any other meditation that we've done. And you're going to ask, what is happening here? And certainly many things on many levels. I've read about teachers who have used this exercise with their classes and reporting that their students enjoy the experience and are more relaxed and alert as they address other areas of their schoolwork. They begin to regard their brains as allies rather than poorly programmed robots, and they are delighted to find that their brains have a sense of whimsy and play. Some who have felt sluggish and sleepy experience renewed energy. According to the book, one Texas rancher found his brain saying to him, "Where have you been all my life?" Many experiences are reported, and there is an unexpected sense of reverence for their brain. The brain has truly become an active partner in the process of co-creation. As attention of this kind and duration is directed toward the brain, more blood goes to the brain, bringing nourishing oxygen. As this attention is directed toward different areas of the brain in different ways, more of the brain seems to be nourished and available. The principle is the same as that used in autogenic training for the relief of migraine headaches. As you image the hand becoming warm and heavy and the forehead cool, the congested blood in the head is relieved and more blood is directed toward the hand. It's a psychological exercise. But the thing that you must understand is that this will help you to learn how to access different parts of your brain, how to utilize visualization, and it becomes a complete holistic whole, and you may be able to access 100% of your brain's capacity, just like in the movie Lucy. So what I want you to do is find a place where you can completely relax and you won't be interrupted by the outside world. Seat yourself comfortably with your spine straight and your body in a supported and relaxed position that you can maintain comfortably for about 45 minutes. Consider what you would say to your brain if you would speak to it directly. Apart from "hello there" or "wake up, stupid" or "where have you been all my life," what would you really say if you had the opportunity to begin a friendship and ongoing communication with your own brain? Remember what this is, because toward the end of this exercise, you will have the opportunity to say things directly to your own brain. While your eyes are still open, I want you to place your hand upon your heart. Simply slow down your breath. By doing this, while you do this exercise, your heart and mind will become coordinated. So just begin by breathing in and then breathe out slowly, bringing a feeling of anticipation, gratitude, and joy, of reverence. As you continue to slow down your breath, close your eyes and direct your attention to your breathing. Allow the rhythm of your breath to become regular. As you do this, allow your consciousness to rest in your solar plexus and gradually move up through your body, passing through your lungs and then your heart, moving up the left carotid artery to the left side of your brain. Move your awareness forward now to your left eye. Keeping your eyes closed, look down with your left eye. Now look up with your left eye. Look to the left and to the right. Keeping your awareness in your left eye, allow that eye to circle clockwise. And counterclockwise. Note which direction is easier. You may find it easier if you imagine you are looking at a clock and follow the numbers of the clock as you move your eye. Now shift your attention to your right eye. Keeping your eyes closed, look down and then up. Repeat this several times. Now move your right eye from right to left. Allow your right eye to circle to the right and then to the left, clockwise and counterclockwise. Do you notice this is easier with the right eye than the left? Now relax your eyes, feeling them get soft and releasing the muscles around the socket. Rest for a minute. Keeping your eyes closed, direct your attention to the right side of the brain. And now to the left side of the brain. Shift back and forth easily a few times, noting any differences between the two sides of your brain. Does one seem more accessible than the other? Keeping your eyes closed and relaxed, imagine the images that will be suggested as vividly as possible. Don't strain as you do this. On the left side of your brain, imagine the number 1. And on the right side, the letter A. On the left side, the number 2. And on the right side, the letter B. On the left, the number 3. And on the right, the letter C. And on the left, the number 4. And on the right, the letter D. On the left, the number 5. And on the right, the letter E. Continue with the numbers on the left and the letters on the right, going toward the number 26 and the letter Z. You don't have to actually reach 26 and Z, just continue for a minute or so. If you get confused or lost, go back to the place where the letters and numbers were clearly together and begin again. Rest for a minute, relaxing your attention as you do so. Now, reverse the process you have just done, putting the letters on the left and the numbers on the right. On the left, image the letter A. And on the right, the number 1. On the left, the letter B. And on the right, the number 2. Keep going toward the letter Z and the number 26. stop and rest for a minute, noting whether it was easier on one side than the other, whether numbers or letters were more clearly imagined. Continuing with your eyes closed, on the left side of your brain, imagine a festive outdoor scene with a big picnic and fireworks. On the right, image a couple getting married. Let that image go, and on the left, imagine a procession of nuns walking 2 by 2 through a lovely medieval cloister. On the right, there is a hurricane sweeping through a coastal town. On the left is an atom. On the right is a galaxy. On the left are fruit trees bearing new blossoms. On the right, the trees are weighted down with frost and snow. On the left is the sunrise. On the right is the sunset. On the left is a green jungle forest. On the right is a snow-covered mountain in the Alps. On the left is a 3-ring circus. On the right is a thick fog. On the left is the sensation of climbing rocks. Try to capture the feeling and sensation of the rocks and breathe easily as you experience it. On the right, imagine how your hand feels caressing a baby's skin. On the left, the feeling of plunging your hands into warm, soppy mud. On the right, that of making snowballs with your bare hands. On the left, you are pulling taffy. On the right, you are punching a punching bag. Now on the left, hear the sound of a fire engine. On the right, the sound of crickets chirping. On the left, the sound of a car starting up. On the right, somebody is singing in a very high voice. On the left, the sound of ocean waves on a beach. On the right, the sound of your stomach growling. Now on the left, the smell of a pine forest. On the right, imagine smelling freshly brewed coffee. On the left, the smell of gasoline. On the right, the taste of hot buttered toast. On the left, the taste of a lemon. On the right, the taste of nuts. On the left side of the brain, experience as fully as you can the following scene. You are riding a horse through the snow and sleet carrying 3 little kittens under your coat, and you're sucking on a peppermint. On the right side of your brain, you are standing under a waterfall singing "You Are My Sunshine" and watching a nearby volcano erupt. Now, eyes still closed, with your left eye, look up toward your left brain. Move the eye so that it circles and explores this space. Roam around for a while. Now do the same thing for a while with your closed right eye on the right side of your brain. Now with the left eye, trace some triangles on the left side of the brain. Now trace some rectangles. Now draw some stars with your left eye. With the right eye, trace some triangles on the right side of the brain. Now make some rectangles. Now draw some stars with your right eye. Now, make many overlapping circles on the left sides, leaving spirals of light streaming from these circles into the left side of the brain. Imagine the brain as charged with energy by this light. Make many overlapping circles on the right side with the right eye, leaving energized light streaming from these circles. Now with both eyes, circle vertically just in the middle of the head. You should circle along the corpus callosum, the ridge where the hemispheres of the brain come together. With both eyes together, circle as widely as you can inside your head. With both eyes, create spiraling galaxies throughout your brain. Fill the whole of your brain space and the inside of your head with them. Stop and let your eyes come completely to rest for a moment. Try to make horizontal circles with both eyes, just at the level of your eyes, and circling as widely as possible inside your head. Now try making smaller circles horizontally at the level of your eyes. Make them smaller and smaller and smaller. Keep making them smaller until you get down to a space that is too small for circling, and then you will want to fix on that point and try to hold it. Continue to breathe freely with your muscles relaxed as you do this. If you lose the point, make more large circles, letting them become smaller and smaller until you get back down to a point, staying fixed on that point for as long as you can easily. Rest for a moment. Now, in the middle of your forehead, imagine a huge sunflower. Now erase the sunflower. Simultaneously imagine a sunflower on the left and some green, damp moss on the right. Let them go. Imagine that there is a big tree growing in the middle of your forehead. Let go of that and imagine that there is a golden harp on the left, and just a little to the right of the harp is a drum. Try to hear them as they play together. Let them go, and imagine on the left an eagle and on the right a canary, both of them there together at once. Let them go now, and imagine the canary now on the left and the eagle on the right. Let them go and imagine two eagles on the left and two canaries on the right. Let them fade away. Breathe easily, and if you need to adjust your position to be more comfortable, do so. Now in the middle of your forehead, imagine a small sun. Then imagine the sun just inside the top of your head. Try to roll it down the inside of your skull to the inside of your back of your head, so that if your eyes could turn completely around in your head, they would be looking at it. Now raise the sun along the back of your head to the top and then down to the forehead. Now raise it along the inside of the head from the forehead back to the top and then to the back of the head. And then to the top of the head and back to the forehead. The sun should be making vertical semicircles on the inside of your skull. Now let that sun move out in front of you and see it setting over the sea. From somewhere in the direction of the sunset comes a sailboat. From what direction is the sailboat coming? From the left, from the right, or from some other direction? Let the image fade away and imagine an elephant walking. Try to become more and more aware of him as he walks. He stops and eats something, pushing his long trunk into his mouth. Then he walks some more. Then he sees you and breaks into a run. He slows down and then he stops and eats some more. Let the elephant go and imagine seeing Santa Claus in a sleigh pulled by reindeer. Observe this sleigh and watch it accelerate, then slow down and stop. Then start it up again, going faster and faster as it circles around and down a spiral track that is inside your head. Starting from your chin, the sleigh spirals up and around and around and around until it reaches the top of your head. Then it spirals down and around and around and around to your chin. Then it rushes up, around and around and around to the top of your head. Then it circles down and around to your chin. Circling now up and around and around and around to the top of your head. Let it stop there, poised on the edge of the front of the top of your head. Now yawn, and let Santa and his sleigh and reindeer drive down over your nose and into your mouth, swallow the sleigh, and forget all about it. Now, focus attention on the left side of your brain for a while. Concentrate on it and try to see or imagine what your brain looks like on the left side. Be aware of the gray matter and the convolutions of the brain. Concentrate in some way on the right side of the brain. Pay attention to the thick bands of fibers that connect the two hemispheres of the brain. Now try to sense both sides at once, the whole brain. Sense its infinite complexity, its billions of cells intercommunicating at the speed of light. Meditate on it as a universe in itself, whose dimensions and capacities you've only begun to dream of. Now, breathing very deeply, imagine that by inhaling and exhaling, you can expand and contract your brain. And do this for a while, expanding your brain when you inhale slowly and deeply, and contracting your brain when you exhale slowly and completely. Let your brain rest now, and holding its image, speak directly to your own brain, suggesting, if you wish, that its functioning will get better and better. Suggest that you will have more brain cells accessible to you, and that the interaction of the cells and all the processes of the brain will continuously improve as time goes by. Tell it that the right and left hemispheres will be better integrated, as will older and newer parts of the brain. Advise your brain that many of its latent potentials can now become manifest, and that you will try to work together with the brain in partnership with the heart to allow these potentials to develop in your life. Imagine now and see if your brain has any messages for you. These messages may come as words or images or feelings. Give the brain time to respond, withholding judgment. Does your brain want something from you? What does your brain want to give you? Again, being aware of the whole of the brain, begin to feel a real sense of both communication and communion with your brain. Think of it as a new friend, and of this friendship as a profound and beautiful new fact in your life. In the weeks to come, spend time nurturing and deepening this friendship so that the two of you, your brain and your consciousness, can work together in useful ways. But now spend some minutes communing with your brain. Images may come to you, or feelings or words, as together you move into a more complete partnership and friendship. If you wish, while you do this, place your hands about a half an inch above your head and have the sense that you're caressing the field around your brain in the same way that you might pat or stroke the hand of a dear friend. You have now unified your mind field. By visualizing and imagining in this way, you've identified and strengthened the connection between your left and right hemispheres and awakened certain parts of your brain you may not have used recently. You will find a greater mental acuity and ability to concentrate with newer ways of seeing. As you continue to do this, if not the first time, your pineal gland will be opened, your pituitary gland is opened, opening your crown chakra, all of the different smaller chakras in and around the brain, all the way down to the heart. This should fundamentally change your consciousness. Please tell me all about it in the comments. You can slowly begin to open your eyes, wiggle your fingers and toes, take a deep breath, and go out into the day and just have a fantastic day with a greater awareness of a greater level of consciousness and communication between all aspects of your brain in a complete unified mind field. Welcome to the reality revolution.